This was the heartbreaking moment the judge sentenced Mrs. Mariam Sanda to death by hanging for killing her husband.
Accordingly, I hereby sentence Mariam Sanda to death by hanging until she dies. This I have done, believing that
This case was one of the most televised or followed-up cases in Nigeria, particularly because the victim was the nephew of a high-profile person in the country. At the same time, the suspect also had a powerful and well-connected mother. It all started on the night of November 18, 2017, when one Ibrahim Mohammed visited his friend Biliaminu Bello and his wife Mariam Sanda at their residence in Maitama, Abuja, the capital city of Nigeria. While there, Ibrahim and Biliaminu spent time in the sitting room, watching TV and smoking shisha. Some minutes later, Mariam came downstairs to call her husband, Biliaminu, to join her upstairs, which he did. A few minutes later, Ibrahim, who was still downstairs, began to hear some noises upstairs, but he didn't make a big deal out of it. The noise and commotion went on for quite a while, until Mariam sent someone to come and call Ibrahim downstairs. When Ibrahim went up to see what was going on, to his greatest surprise, he saw the couple holding each other's clothes on the neck as they dragged and quarreled. Ibrahim, who was both shocked and confused by what he witnessed, told the couple to stop the fight and then asked Mariam what was going on. Mariam then asked him to tell his friend Biliaminu to divorce her right away. This came as yet another surprise to Ibrahim, but this was just the beginning of the drama, which would later end in a life-changing tragedy. Ibrahim pleaded with Mariam to let go of her husband and to exercise patience so that they could sort things out, but Mariam replied that she was not going anywhere until Biliaminu divorced her. When Mariam finally let go of her husband, she reportedly picked up a bottle by the side of the door and then broke it on the wall. She went straight towards her husband and attempted to use it on him, but Ibrahim quickly intervened by holding her hands, which allowed Biliaminu to go from behind and collect the broken bottle from her. After collecting the broken bottle, Biliaminu went downstairs to dispose of it, while Ibrahim closed the door and tried to talk Mariam into stopping the fight with her husband. Unfortunately, Mariam turned deaf ears to all pleas and then vowed that she wouldn't stop until Biliaminu divorced her that night. She went on to threaten that it was either he divorced her or she would cut off his manhood. As Ibrahim continued to plead with her, Biliaminu entered the room once again and Mariam immediately followed him, insisting that he must divorce her that night. Biliaminu was said to have kept quiet throughout the whole commotion and provocations. Now, seeing that her husband was ignoring her, Mariam got more upset. She picked up a perfume bottle and then broke it on the table. She approached Biliaminu once again to use it on him, but he held her hand and then collected the bottle from her. The couple reportedly began hitting each other until Biliaminu pushed her on the bed and then went downstairs, but Mariam immediately followed him. While Biliaminu was still sitting in the living room, Mariam entered the kitchen and took a knife. She approached her husband once again, but Ibrahim took the knife from her. She then proceeded to carry a table knife, which Ibrahim also collected from her. It was said that Mariam attempted to pick a knife about 3 or 4 times that night. Biliaminu was reported to have suffered minor cuts and injuries while trying to disarm his wife. He was said to have also had his finger bitten by his wife during the fight. Now, due to the violent nature of the quarrel between the couple and how unrelenting Mariam was, Ibrahim had to call Biliaminu's uncle and cousin to come and see if they could restore peace. When the uncle arrived, he spoke to the couple and urged them to let go of their grievances, at least for the night, to which they both agreed. After calm was restored, Bilyaminu and Ibrahim went to the pharmacy to get his injuries treated, after which they went to an ATM to withdraw money for the repair of Mariam's car. The two returned around 11 p.m. and by that time, there was calmness in the house. Ibrahim and the uncle stayed for a while before deciding to leave the couple's residence around 1 a.m. that night. Bilyaminu, who escorted the two visitors to see them off, told them that he did not want to return to the house until Mariam was asleep. Ibrahim got home that night, but some hours later, he received a call from Bilyaminu's brother asking him to come to Maitama Hospital, that his friend Bilyaminu was dead. Ibrahim rushed down to the hospital where he saw his friend lying on a bed with a stab wound on his chest, shoulder and thigh, and also bite wounds on his stomach. Both families of the couple were present at the hospital. After Bilyaminu's corpse was deposited in the mortuary, the family left for the police station to file a report. However, while on their way to the station, Mariam's mother and brother, together with the policeman in their car, were said to have diverted to the couple's residence. The policeman who followed the two to the house was made to stand outside in front of the car while the mother and brother went upstairs. Mariam was said to have confessed to stabbing her husband to the doctors, but later changed her story when asked to write a statement at the police station. Bilyaminu Bello was the nephew of a one-time chairman of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Alhaji Habiru Bello. His marriage to Mariam was his second, as he was said to have divorced his first wife in order to marry Mariam in 2015. After his tragic death, his friend was said to have made a social media post claiming that his first wife divorced Bilyaminu so that he could have peace because of how jealous Mariam was. The couple had been married for over 2 years and they had a daughter between them who was still being breastfed at the time the tragic incident took place. Mariam was also 3 months pregnant with their second child at the time. Just like Bilyaminu, his wife Mariam Sanda was also from a rich and influential family. She was the daughter of Mrs. Maimuna Aliyu, a former executive director of ASO Savings and Loans. Friends said that Bilyaminu felt like a prisoner in his own marriage and that Mariam was obsessed with him. She would call him within 30 minutes and an hour after leaving the house to hang out with his friends. Because of this, the friends developed the habit of visiting him in his house. The couple's marriage was said to have been filled with quarrels and domestic abuse, but no one would have ever imagined how badly it would end. After they arrived at the police station, the police commissioner was said to have instructed the officers to visit the couple's residence for investigation. When the police arrived at the couple's Maitama residence, they and some family members were shocked to find out that the house had been cleaned up. The victim's blood had been mopped up and the murder weapon made to disappear. However, flower vases and pots were broken and scattered on the floor to corroborate Mariam's statement at the police station. This came as a surprise because there were other people in the house before and after the tragic incident. It was at that point that it became clear to Ibrahim that the diversion made by Mariam's mother and brother while heading to the police station was for them to go and manipulate the crime scene and also hide incriminating evidence. The police arrested Mariam, her mother, her brother, and house help. Mariam was charged with the murder of her husband, while the other 3 were accused of causing the evidence of the offense to disappear by cleaning the blood from the crime scene with the intention of shielding Mariam from legal punishment. They were arraigned in court 5 days after the incident, and this marked the beginning of a long and controversial legal battle that would take over 2 years to conclude. Mariam was a nursing mother and also 3 months pregnant when she was arraigned in court. She delivered her second baby girl during the trial. The judge granted bail to the 3 other accused persons, but rejected all bail applications filed for Mariam until she had a major health concern. Interesting things happened during the trial. One witness was said to have disappeared after arriving at the court, while Mariam's lawyers also withdrew from the trial. In January 2019, over 1 year after Bilyaminu's death, Mariam took the stand to give her own account of what happened that night. She told the court that on that particular evening in November 2017, she took her husband's phone to make a call, and while going through it, she discovered the nude picture of a lady on the phone. She then went downstairs to call the deceased so that they could talk about it. In the course of the discussion, things escalated and they got into an intense argument. She claimed that the argument continued late into the evening and that around 11 p.m., she went downstairs to take her phone charger from the living room. While about to do so, her husband pushed her and she fell and broke his shisha bottle, causing the water inside to spill on the floor. Bilyaminu then tried to pin her to the ground, but he accidentally slipped and landed on the broken shisha bottle. She claimed she removed the broken bottle from her husband and then covered the wound with her scarf before rushing out to call for help. Mariam denied threatening to stab her husband with a knife and also labeled the testimony given by Ibrahim and the other people present in the house as false. However, her claim of Bilyaminu falling on a broken shisha bottle was disputed when witnesses testified that the shisha bottle was unbroken on the morning of the incident before the police arrived, which meant that it was only broken after Bilyaminu's death. An autopsy could not be carried out, and the alleged reason was that the crime scene had been cleaned up before police arrival. Mariam's mother, her brother and house help pleaded not guilty and were set free by the judge. The police couldn't find the murder weapon nor an eyewitness who would testify to seeing Mariam murder her husband that night. However, the judge used the testimonies of Ibrahim and others, as well as the doctrine of last seen, which states that the last person to be seen with the victim bears full responsibility for what happened to the victim. On January 27, 2020, Mariam was found guilty of murder and then sentenced to death by hanging. Her sentence was followed by a huge burst of emotion, both from Mariam herself and her family members. She appealed her sentence about 11 months later, but lost the appeal. She then proceeded to the Supreme Court in November 2022 to try and overturn her death sentence. This was a very tragic case. Do you think the verdict given to Mariam was too severe or deserving? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to this channel for more true crime stories. Thank you for watching and stay safe.